Bang! Hi everybody, I'm Sean Hilton, and today I'm joined by my deceased co-partner, Michael Allen Harrison, who was shot in a James Bond ode.
In the what?
James Bond ode.
Ode?
Ode to James Bond.
Oh, wow.
Which we'll talk about here in a minute. Today, GeekStorm is filmed in the heart of downtown Kokomo at the finest of toy stores in the entire galaxy, Kokomo Toys and Collectibles, located at 111 East Sycamore in downtown Kokomo, right down the street from Comics Cubed. Together we form the indomitable duo that is...
You get together,
Geek Street.
You turn into a bigger lizard?
Yeah, we like form of awesome geek stuff. Form of a toy thing. Form of a comic thing. And it explodes into cool stuff everywhere. So there you have it. So, hey, Mike, what have you done to make you, improve on your geek card? You're going to stamp on it this week.
Oh boy!
What geek cred do you got, my friend?
Oh, I don't know. Did I do anything? I'll tell you, I missed Dragon Con. I missed that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
That's the first for you in a long time. Dragon Con is a major convention in Atlanta, I believe. It features comics and toys and a lot of costuming. It's really become, I think,
it's
the
80% costume, yeah.
But there's something there for everybody, and it's thrown out through a bunch of different areas, hotels.
Speaking of thrown out, a young lady was injured when somebody threw a chair over a balcony.
It's not funny. Why would you laugh about that?
I was laughing at the transition. I was laughing at the transition.
It was a good seg. I was actually getting ready to line that up, too. So yeah, I mean, this is a really good convention. It is beloved.
It is.
People go there all the time.
80,000 this year.
I mean, that's bigger than Gen Con. That is huge. But it is also like 4 or 5 hotels all putting it together with the entire downtown being taken over.
Correct.
I mean, Gen Con down in Indianapolis is a big deal and people get in on it.
It's
but Dragon Con, from what I can gather, takes over the entire little city.
It takes over those 5 major hotels that are all within, I would say, 2-3 blocks of each other. So every room that they have, besides hotel rooms, every conference room, whatever room, is taken up with it.
So during the celebration of awesomeness, in comes like a chair from 10 stories up?
Yes.
Has there been news? Do we know why? Obviously gravity and a chair, that's why.
Sure.
But, I mean, was this vindictive? Was it an accident? What kind of investigative journalism were you able to do on this subject?
No one has been caught.
What?
You would think that there would be cameras everywhere.
Well, you would also think that they could just go up the hotel and go, hey, this room happens to be missing a chair.
Now, it's not. Here's the thing. It came off, the way the Marriott is set up, it's several lobbies, several layers of lobby, and then it's hollow all the way up. If you've seen Hunger Games and if you've seen Spider-Man Homecoming, both times, the one time they look up and there's kind of like you're in a hollow building, that's that building.
Okay.
Now on the 10th floor, there's no rooms on the 10th floor.
None.
They've made another big circular giant lobby on the 10th floor.
Oh.
And so there were chairs there, chairs for people to sit in. And if what I understand, it was a banquet style chair, not a Barca lounger or anything like that. And it went not inside, but if you go, there's an outside smoking balcony out there that overlooks a pool area. Ooh. That's where the chair was sent. Here's the problem with trying to identify who it is. One, it doesn't seem there's any cameras out there. But 2, let's say it happened and you happen to know it came from right there. For me to get from here to there,
10 stories.
It's a half hour.
Yeah. Because
just to get on an elevator. The other thing is, even though this convention it's 80,000 people and takes up all these major hotels, the hotels still block it. I'm sorry, when I say block, they sell room blocks. There are other people in the hotel besides con-goers.
Non-con-goers?
Because for whatever, there's a thing, it's about that big, and it's made of dead pigs, and they throw it back and forth. Okay.
Sounds like a sports ball thing.
Yes, that's what it is.
Sports ball.
Well, it's always Labor Day weekend, and there is always a big game there, and so they reserve a certain amount of rooms for those people as well. Okay. And I don't understand why they exist, but they do, and so they oftentimes are the troublemakers. They are somebody who will go up and see somebody in a giant costume, somebody on stilts, and go up and, because they're drunk and stupid and hillbillies, they'll go up and pick them up, and they're thinking they're having a good time, and look at me, wee-hoo. They actually do this. I've seen 2 of them. Wee-hoo, look at me. So that's probably what it was, but we don't know for certain because no one's been caught. But luckily nobody was killed, which could have been 10 stories.
10 stories, yeah.
You die. But a girl did have a horrible gash on her head. Apparently
dressed as Loki.
Loki, and the costume saved her life.
For all we know,
costume can save your life.
For all we know, Thor did it though.
Thor didn't do it.
He might have like rained down.
The chair would have come back to him if if it was.
He wasn't worthy anymore after hitting the poor Loki.
Oh man, that's what did it. We don't know.
He thought it was the real Loki. It turned out it was a fake Loki, and as soon as he had fake Loki, he wasn't worthy anymore. Done deal.
Should have done his homework. Anyway, I missed it. It was a good time. We're gonna go back next year, but like you said, like you mentioned very quickly last week, I got married, bought a house, did all that stuff. So I had planned on not going this year anyway.
Such a romantic.
All that stuff. You know, my lovely child bride. Well, she's 11 years younger than me. I mean, that's young. I married up. There's no question, right? Obviously.
I don't know. There's an empty cradle somewhere.
She's not. I'm quite old.
So. Did she graduate yet?
She has graduated from the school of Hard Knocks.
Oh, well. All right, so there you go. Well, I'm sorry to hear you missed Dragon Con, but I'm happy that you've stepped up in life.
I have.
And that your happiness meter has buried itself in the
buried. That
is awesome.
Buried.
So good for you.
Like many marriages, buried.
I've sold many comics this week. We're engaging in activities in the gaming realm, writing some role-playing game stuff.
Great.
So the typical for me, having a lot of fun.
I'm happy for you that you're able to do that stuff. That you're able to find work, you know, as, and I don't know why I put it in air quotes, but doing the stuff that you like to do. That's happiness, you know.
It's good for me.
It
does. I get to do it with a lot of good friends. And
don't ever do anything you're good at for free.
Okay.
And if you can make a living doing what makes you happy, you'll be happy forever.
I'm pretty much up on all of that.
You two are screwed. I don't know what you're doing. We're living the dream.
The producers are done.
All right.
So, it's okay. I'm working with one of the producers on one of our projects.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
that's nice.
He's involved in a new thing. I don't think we're ready to announce just yet.
Oh, you're not?
So we're getting close. Whew. So, but we want to have some more stuff ready.
Oh.
So yeah, we did Gen Con a while back. Already talked about it, but for me, it's still I am the GM liaison for a group, which means I handle a bunch of stuff. So now all the paperwork starts filing back to my email. And so all of a sudden, you know, I'm used to having a lot of junk crap email from some of the stuff that we do.
Sure.
Do this and everything. But yeah, the other day, I you know, boom, it's like 75. And usually it's around 20 or 30. And I'm like, what the hell? And so, yeah, it was just all this stuff coming back from Gen Con and all that stuff. And so
we hate this guy. Why is he here?
Yeah, what they do is every game that we run with that company, they report back on to us.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm like, man, this one game seems to be a bunch. And it's usually 1 or 2 emails about each game. This one had 10 emails for just a single game.
Wow.
And I'm
a
like,
single session?
A single session.
Wow.
And so finally I'm like, normally I don't bother to contact you guys about stuff, but this had 10 emails, so I'm just curious as to, is there something else I need to do? Because I am a little confused as to why we received
Were they positive emails?
Many. It's just like, we got this, we did this, we've got these tickets, we put the tickets in an envelope. And usually there's 2 of these, but as I said, this time there was like 10 all back to back. So I don't know if somebody's just having a bad day and like hitting the wrong buttons or what the deal was, but that was a little wild. So I don't think there's hey, also in convention news, the CocomoCon is happening Saturday, October 14th, right here in the wonderful city of Kokomo. The 8th annual CocomoCon will take place at the Kokomo Event Center. Guest of honor this year has been announced to be John Ostrander, the creator of the modern-day Suicide Squad.
Legendary.
Writer for Star Wars, X-Men, Batman, Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, First Comics.
List them off.
A living legend amongst us.
He is.
And incredibly happy to have him joining us, as well as Mr. Mike Gold, a famous editor for DC. You might have read a little book called The Longbow Hunters.
I do remember The Longbow Hunters.
He edited that. You might remember The Question that Denny O'Neil wrote, who was a guest of honor. He edited that, and then several others. And he was also a co-creator of a comic book company called First Comics.
You have 2 legends coming to your store, to your game.
And we have an upcoming rising star. Paul Allor is going to be joining us, who just a couple of years ago, we would have like had him at the bottom of the list. Like, hey, it's my buddy Paul, and he happens to be a buddy, so we'll put him on the list. But now he's writing for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He just wrote for Marvel's biggest summer crossover event that they've ever had. He's done G.I. Joe, And he's got a couple projects I don't think I'm able to talk about yet because he hasn't announced them. But I do know that he's got another Turtles project coming up here in the near future as well. Favorite. He's writing IDW's Clue based on
What's IDW
the
stand
classic. For? I don't know. Independent Destructive Writers, something like that. I don't know. But so he's also going to be there. Plus a myriad.
Whoa!
Of other talents.
Wow!
A plethora.
Would you say a plethora?
Of activities going on. So this will not be a minuscule convention. My friend,
no!
But
it never is.
It's one of Kokomo's funnest events.
It is a gem.
I don't just say that because I put it on. It's a lot of fun.
It's a gem.
We bring in people from all over the Midwest,
sure do.
and we have a good time with it. So
yeah,
that is what is going on.
There. And you got a costume contest. Now, let me ask you this.
I just went to Mid Central Trophy. In Kokomo and bought more trophies I think than we've ever had before.
Let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus,
sure.
but I just need to know.
Yeah.
Have we thrown away the 5-minute phone film festival?
Yes.
Okay.
That is something we were going to announce next Monday to make it official. Now that it's thrown away, we just didn't receive a single entry.
Okay.
And seeing there hasn't been a single entry by September.
If I get one in, I win. If I get one in, I win.
We can't, sure you will win, Mike. You're a winner no matter
Hooray!
what. But no, I'd love to do it. It's one of those activities we probably have to find somebody else to do it that is better at it. But the truth is it has to be advertised, and we just don't have the.
But tell me about the costume contest that is going on.
Wow, man, we have one of the best costume contests in the entire region.
No question.
And so we have this year we had to tone back some categories because there was a lot of controversy. People they get into it. They're like, you can't.
Competitive people.
Like last year we did like villains and heroes, and then you could be any villain from sci-fi, anime, whatever, and you could be any hero, villain, didn't matter. So I'm like, that should cover it all.
Sure.
We got so much flack for gray characters, and I'm like, excuse me? Well, what about the gray characters? I'm like, well, we don't. We're not racist. We don't care if you're white, black, gray, whatever. We don't care. And then they're like, no.
They meant ambiguously moral.
Yes, and we're like, well, then you choose. Does your character fall in your mind as a good guy or bad? Well, they're gray. They wouldn't let it go. Yeah. And like, all right, you know what? Best male, best female. Which now I'm sure in the current politically
you never know.
correct charged thing, I'm like, listen, here's the thing with it. I don't care. You choose whether you're male or female. It's your choice. I'm not going to ask you. We're not going to ask for any proof. You just you check the box or whatever. You go out there and best male, best female, whatever you want to be. I suppose the only thing is the what are the
categories?
The bent?
What are your categories?
We're best male, best female.
Okay.
Best child, best toddler.
Okay.
Toddler is going to be, I believe it's 4 and under.
Okay.
A couple of weeks old to 4 years of age.
Okay.
I don't know. At 4 years old, are you completely potty trained yet?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Some kids are.
I don't remember.
Most kids probably are. So the idea is if you don't know how to use a big boy toilet yet, you get into this category.
Sure.
Then we're going to have like 4 or 5 to 13 as the kids category. Then after 13, you're an adult. You're an adult, but we did include the 13 itself in the kids category because we don't, in case your birthday is that day.
Sure.
And then 14 and up, you're in the adults category. There'll also be a group category. So group, adult male, adult female, toddler, kids, and then I've got about 5 or 6 different other trophies of a sort, basically a medallion, like the Star Wars medallion, because I think those are cool.
Oh, nice.
That will be reserved for judges to give out on an individual basis.
I see.
So there'll be like a best anime, but we're not going to announce necessarily there's a best anime category. It'll just be up to a judge who seems to be an expert in the anime or manga.
Gotcha.
Instead of because I love costumes and stuff, and I like a little bit of anime, but I don't watch it all.
You wouldn't know if Battle Alita her feathers going the wrong way.
Yes,
you don't know. You don't know.
So what we'll do is we will put these like 5 or 6 different smaller kind of categories, like steampunk and stuff, into the hands of people who we think are a little more expert.
Right.
And then they'll just choose.
Right.
And that way there isn't scoring. It's not on the cards.
Right.
It's personal opinion of one judge.
I gotcha.
But we don't announce it per se, other than we're talking about it. But there isn't going to be like a show up at this time and get it. It's just throughout the day they will choose somebody.
I understand.
So that's kind of thing. We'll have that on our main stage, which is always popular. And then of course we'll be collecting money for both the Humane Society and the Excelsior Scholarship.
Another big auction this year?
So there is another auction. We just got a signed picture from Bob Barker.
Oh.
We got a signed picture for, I guess, a guy from The Sopranos, but I don't watch The Sopranos, so I don't know who he is. I'd have to show it to you. Stuff's coming in from all over the place. Some cool and interesting items that we're really excited about having. So.
Good. Good. I look forward to it. I'm working on a costume for Kyan right now for it.
Sweet. Now, this will be his first year, right?
He did not go last year, right?
Okay.
Right.
Well, we've done it for 8 years. So how old is he?
He is 8.
So we've been doing it since the day he was born.
Well, I don't know if it's the day, but.
So on other geek-related news,
Okay.
people might actually want to hear about something.
Oh no, the CocoCon is it's iconic in the area. Go ahead with your thing.
James Bond. We were joking about James Bond earlier.
You were. You're pointing your finger at me.
Well, I mean, I walk in with a gun. You're a sexy chick doing a new dance. That's the way it works.
I don't think that
So if you don't mind, do like one of those things.
That's voguing.
But
well,
whatever.
How come Madonna was never in a James Bond movie? You think that would be like?
Did she not do one of the themes? I mean, there's been so many themes. I wouldn't be surprised if we've just forgotten.
Yeah. No.
My favorite James Bond theme is probably Tina Turner's Goldfinger.
Really?
Goldfinger.
Well, you like that. You like that game. You like. Oh, that's
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Goldfinger, GoldenEye. There's gold involved.
Goldfinger.
That's a really good one.
Goldfinger was
Wings,
like.
Live and Let Die is also way up there.
It's pretty good.
So
It's a good song.
There's some good ones.
It stands by itself. But the Adele song was really good.
It was really good. That was a good song. But it was Adele at like the top of her thing.
Sure.
So that's tough.
The height of her power.
We will see how long it remains that way, because all these songs come out to usually a great deal of attention and then fall apart.
Madonna did the theme for Die Another Day.
Die Another
Day.
See, I was pretty sure.
How memorable that was.
Yes. Well,
Let's
I've
sing a
been
couple
hearing a lot more
bars.
Madonna on the radio lately too. It's weird.
I don't know.
I mean, a lot more.
There's no
But so there's rumors going around, and it's supposedly Bond has been on the market for a while. Sony, I believe, has a right to him, and
I think it's Paramount. Is it Paramount?
well, so it's a very cool documentary that explains some stuff about it. But basically, one movie was set. I think it was the very first movie. Was Ian Fleming with a helper, and the helper ended up getting his hooks into Never Say Never Again, and whatever that was based on, the original, I think the very first one.
Sure.
So Sony somehow figured out a way to get the rights to like that one movie.
I see.
And so that's why there's been a couple of chances of a spinoff, but it's always just him doing the same movie. So it's a little strange. But rumors are going around right now. He's being marketed around between Amazon and, is it? Apple and oh, I'm sorry. There's 3 of them? Warner Brothers, Apple, and Amazon. Now, with the gadgets, because every time a Bond comes out, there is commercials for a car or a watch or something. And he always does have that goofy stuff that, there's always been a car involved. There's always been something like that. So to have an Amazon or, an Apple involved with their products, that kind of makes sense. Warner Brothers, just because they have a huge library and can produce it, would also make sense. So
Bond it's not a big deal. This is just my personal opinion. Okay. He is, for them to go out and spend a ton of money, and I have no idea what it's valued at, but it's not really the prize that I think that, let's say, it's a one-trick franchise. You've got a guy. You're not going to have spin-offs from the Bond franchise.
You could.
Maybe, but it hasn't happened yet. He's the superhero of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, but now we have superheroes. So, we have Jack Reacher. We have pretty much everybody.
We have who?
Jack Reacher.
Who the hell's Jack Reacher?
Hang on. We have the Matt Damon guy, Jason Bourne.
Who?
Okay. Jack Reacher.
Who the hell's Jack Reacher?
It's the Tom Cruise spy movie guy.
Wow.
I know.
Did you just mention a Tom Cruise crappy piece of crap with a James Bond, the worst James Bond? I don't care what it is.
Let's not make
Tom
this.
Cruise can't hold a dirty martini that hasn't been stirred for James Bond. Are you kidding me?
You done?
Jack Reacher.
They've made 2 movies. They made 2 movies. People like them. I don't like Tom Cruise. That's fine.
I would rather watch the
My point
Baccarat
is,
World
the Super Spy,
Championships and see that crap.
Spy has been done 1,000 times beyond James Bond, and this is me spending a bunch of money on this. This is okay. If I'm lucky, I get a star that resonates with people. If he wants to, I can get him to come back for 3 or 4 movies, and we're only going to put those out every other year. So that's one blockbuster where I make maybe $600 million every other year. So how much is that really worth?
It's worth a lot more than you think. Because here's why.
Go ahead and tell me.
Because in your very own
example
here, rebuttal, I would almost say, about Jack Reacher, but you had to struggle to find those other 2 guys' names.
I couldn't remember. That's because I couldn't remember the name. I'm almost 50 years old.
All right, that's fine. You had to struggle to think of, Jason Bourne and all these other. I'll tell you what you don't struggle to think of. When you say spy, there is one. That's James Bond. He is the gold seal, platinum standard of what it is. So one, by owning that franchise, you own that name.
No question.
That name has value.
Awesome.
You put that movie out, no matter what it is.
I can make money on it every other year.
Going to make money.
Every other year.
That's every project, though. Star Wars is making real money every other year, unless they put off the spin-offs.
Marvel puts out 3 movies a year. DC's going to put 3 movies a year.
Based on different characters.
Exactly, and that's why James Bond is only one guy. You can only do one thing with him.
And he's not going to cost
the closest they ever came was
Halle
Berry doing a spin-off when her Jinx character. That was the closest they ever came, and it's never going to happen.
No, bad stuff there. Plus, on top of it, just like the Star Wars things, every time one of these movies comes out, it is a feeding frenzy of advertisers. Everybody wants to be associated with that brand.
They do.
Also has value.
But it's high-end advertising. It's all the people who can afford Jaguars and Tag Heuer watches and things like that.
That's good cash coming in for that franchise.
It's good cash coming in for the franchise, but what does it mean to Mike Dukes about
Well, if he hits the lottery and he knows that James Bond,
I left my
has
Jag
an
in Kansas
Aston
City.
Martin out front, then he might want one. I think that it still has value as long as it can be bought for a reasonable price. It appears that you have 3 different real investors interested in acquiring the property. So I think it could, spinning it off might be a little difficult. There is an American agent that's mentioned in several James Bond books and in the movies. He's in the very first one with, what's his face? I can't remember his name.
You're talking about Felix.
Felix, yes. And so if I would happily see a Felix spinoff and check that out. Or even something maybe with Monty Penny if they wanted to do her up a little interesting. Or they could even go back and do...
It's ridiculous.
Video games.
Video games are huge, obviously. I mean, GoldenEye is one of the best.
Video game rights don't necessarily come along with movie rights.
I mean, if they buy the franchise, I believe they're going to get all those rights.
Oh, come on. You don't believe that?
Yeah. Trademark. They buy it all. If they buy Bond, they own Bond. So,
is that the deal for Bond as a whole, or is it for just for movie rights? We don't know.
And then on top of that, you also end up with the library.
Ask Fox and Sony how that goes.
That I don't think that the library is.
You know what? You're an Aston Martin.
Anymore.
Let's go on to something else.
Because I think the library has been reprinted so many times in Blu-ray and video, DVD, digital downloads.
Are you just naming media?
I mean that again. This is what is this? I would imagine there was probably. Actual film sold in 8mm of Bond prints. There was video cassette sold of Bond prints. There was Laserdisc. Thank you. Betamax.
Sure.
The thing is that he has been hit in every single format. Bond and porn. Those are the things that hit all the formats.
Don't forget HD VHS.
That's probably a great one.
It was a thing.
So, but yeah.
Awesome. What's next?
Hey, let's talk about something that's actually going to be a big hit.
All right.
Let's talk about Inhumans on ABC.
Stop. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Let's go talk. It hit IMAX, where I think 5 people and an uncle saw it.
It made well over $12.
It made some. Honestly, I don't even have the number. It was minuscule.
Right.
It was so little that I believe that the theaters are unhappy with the fact that they gave up screens to present it at this point. I haven't checked. Have you double checked? Is it true? Anybody know? A zero on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know about that.
Is what was being reported. A 0. I don't know what.
That's only happened once before.
What was it?
The Emoji Movie.
The Emoji Movie. So
$500,000 at the Friday box.
$500,000.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, wow. I think personal appearances by major stars at a comic convention make more money than what Inhumans did at an IMAX screening. That is crazy.
Yeah.
The reports coming in from reviews that are being read are giving it, we're double checking, 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, a 0.
You ought to get something for that.
Yeah, it's called a Razzie.
What's that? What's the when you roll a 00?
Crap out?
No, not on. Critical failure. That's a critical failure. Thank you. That's a critical failure.
So what they can make these movies. Guardians of the Galaxy makes a ton of money.
Sure.
Wonder Woman, obviously in the same studio, makes a ton of money. How is it that the Inhumans? What was going on there? You think? Now, some of the stuff I've heard is that they hired a director who was known for coming in on time and under budget.
Yes.
From what we can see of the preview,
yes.
especially, and again, going back and beating this dead hair, Medusa's hair looked horrible.
Right.
And I think even you tried to give it a little extra. You're like, well, that's not final.
Right.
Then we saw another clip where they finally animated the hair a little bit, and it looked like somebody had turned a fan on behind her, because even that didn't look good.
I've seen better shampoo commercials than that.
Again, we're reviewing the reviews at this point.
We
so
haven't seen it.
talking you know,
I'll see
out of
when
our
it comes on.
hats
I'll see when it
at
comes
this
on
point.
TV.
I will happily watch it. Well, it's not true. Happily, I am going to watch it. But and I'm curious about one thing because this is a rumor that I've heard from other reviews.
Okay.
Spoiler: by the end of this 2-part episode, which is what this IMAX thing was made up of, they shaved Medusa's head.
Yes, they leaked that in a trailer like
The
a week
woman
before.
has one inhuman ability,
Right.
and that is prehensile hair, and it might have been super strong. I don't know about that off the top of my head. And so you shave it. I'm like,
That's budget.
oh man.
This
isn't coming in under budget. This is just massacring the franchise.
And I guess even the director, who is known for the things you said, he said they rushed him. They rushed, little budget, and they rushed how quickly they wanted stuff completed. Excuse me. And then you had Scott Buck, who was the showrunner to begin with, and he failed with Iron Fist in a big way, I think, for doing the same thing, for rushing things. Finn Jones had like 2 weeks worth of training, and you call what you want. He was not prepared for that role. Because that was a very physical role. We've talked about that many times.
Yes.
So this is the same type of thing. Now, I saw a quote from an ABC executive saying, it's not very good. They actually said, it has a lot of problems. And
Again,
we're not really sure what's going to happen. And that's why, and real quickly, all that early buzz is why they moved up Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't going to come out until, I think, January.
Oh, they were going to let this have its spot.
Yeah. But they moved it up, I think, to November, I think.
I mean, it does. It looks. It's coming apart like a dumpster fire behind a third-rate motel at this point. It's looking bad. The stuff that we're hearing is sounding bad. Mm-hmm. There isn't a single report coming out with any redeeming quality at all. So, and then the last rumor, is that they're already looking to replace it. It has not even shown on television yet. And there's already talk that execs are buzzing about what do we got to take its place.
Right.
So that to me just seems like, wow, no faith from if that's true, no faith from the studio. Doesn't sound like the director's backing this up at all. And so, yeah, man, that's just rough.
It is.
So,
especially after Iron Fist fizzled. And you're watching Defenders right now, and I finished it, but it's I'd say it's less than strong, but it's not bad. It's just, and you said dull earlier. It's been a little dull. It is a little dull, but it's still good. It's just not, man, this is Marvel. This is where we had it. Now
they're slowly but surely losing some ground, and it appears it's not superhero fatigue because Wonder Woman just crossed like a huge boundary and just showed it's.
You make something good, people will respond.
So that's it. And then Hollywood has just come out and said, because I guess we're in one of the worst years in a very long time for box office. And Hollywood is blaming stuff like Rotten Tomatoes and other review sites as somehow they are at fault for the receipts being down for this year's worth of summer movies. If you take out the superhero movies this year, what's left? What blew you away at the box office that wasn't superhero related this year? I mean, really, not only blew you away, but made money. Good money.
Baby Driver. I liked Baby Driver.
It was a great movie. How much money did it make? I'm going to bet didn't make much.
I don't know.
Not compared to other, $1 billion blockbusters is what we set that level at now. That's your next, that's the level that these people are shooting for. Baby Driver is a great movie. Absolutely loved it, but not in the realm of a blockbuster like that.
No, I agree.
Probably a low budget movie to begin with. So it probably did well, statistically.
Sure.
But I imagine a lot of people are like, what the hell is he talking about? What is this driver and why is there a baby? I thought
It's good.
Baby Boss is what they saw.
That's awful.
So that's some of the stuff that's come out. But yeah, blaming reviews now for low budget. What any thoughts?
Yeah, movie attendance is going to continue to go down since it has in, let's say when TV really exploded, when there started to be a TV in every household. Now we've got not just TV, you've got internet, which is the new network television, and there are other things to do, So you are gonna have to. It's not just it's Friday night, we're supposed to go to a movie, so we'll go and pick a movie, and we're gonna spend our money on one of these. It doesn't matter. We're gonna spend our money on one of these, so you get my movie dollars. That's not the same now, and it'll continue not to be the same. When I can do a virtual reality lightsaber fight, on my phone and do that instead.
Did you break your phone yet?
No, I don't have one of those things. It looks really cool though.
Cool.
If the footage they show is actual gameplay, that's pretty cool.
I'm there for you. I agree. The idea that reviews are somehow destroying your movies. One, make good movies. Trying to claim that Baywatch was going to be a good movie. I don't think
who greenlit that?
I don't think anybody's buying
crazy.
That load of crap. It's just not going to happen. When you do have movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, making astronomical amounts of money. You look at Transformers; it appears to have flopped. Well, one, Transformer fatigue. We're going to keep using that word, but some of these franchises aren't James Bond. I don't care to keep seeing these kind of movies. I have seen all the Transformers movies, and I don't even like Transformers that much. I like a good summer action popcorn movie that gives me a lot of action and violence and explosions. I like that stuff. I didn't bother to go see this latest one, and I like that kind of crap. I take my mom to see that kind of crap because she enjoys it, even if she's like, no, I think I've had enough giant robots and the whole King Arthur shtick doesn't do it. So I don't think it's reviews that do it. I think you're right. There is a lot for us to do. We are a very interconnected society now. And normal, like Netflix, we're going to keep talking about Netflix because they're going to keep doing stuff. They are giving us original content that is better and cheaper than what we are currently seeing out there. We got, Ozark came out, Atypical came out. Not only can we spend Friday doing it, but we can binge watch into Saturday and Sunday or cheat. I mean, that's the other thing is what's the term? What is it when you cheat on your significant other on Netflix? What we need to, if there's not a term, we need to create that term. That needs to be our term because that's a thing. Because I watched something the other day that I didn't think my wife was going to like, and I got a look. I got,
I know.
That look. And I'm like, well, I didn't think you actually cared about it. And she's like, well, I watched the first one, didn't I? Damn.
I don't know. I wouldn't cross her.
No.
I saw her yell at an old lady one time.
Was that at the restaurant?
Yeah.
My wife is really...
I was scared.
We always talk about, they always say the better half. My wife is my better half.
Oh, no question.
Very bad...
Let's be honest, better 2/3. Go right ahead.
You know me well. I don't like a lot of people.
Right.
I don't like a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm a very negative person, and I'm okay with that. I am that person that has a small group of friends that I believe would help me hide the body.
Sure.
And anybody outside of that circle, I don't really have any use for.
Right.
She is that person that, makes the branches and connects everything and keeps it all going. But yeah, when you insulted all her friends at the same time in front of her,
It was a switch.
whoo, I'd actually left. I didn't. Oh man,
Like-
but I've heard the stories.
It was like,
So-
she was taking her earrings off and
Yeah,
everything.
she down.
Taking her rings off.
Show you Floyd Mayweather, Tyson, and a McGregor fight. all
Hold
at
my
one
purse.
time. Like, man. But yeah, so news. If you ever see me and my wife out, don't insult her friends. Insult me.
Yeah,
she's
sure.
okay with that.
Right,
but
obviously.
don't insult her friends, and don't accuse them of being thieves.
No. Oh.
It's on. You might actually see like the hockey thing. Just
Right.
boom, it all
Right.
comes off at once. And beating the hell out of people. Hey, Star Wars, you're a big Star Wars fan.
Well, it turns out I am.
What is going on over there at Disney Studios and directors?
Here's why I'm not upset about this at all. And if
Okay.
what he's referring to is Trevor
Quartermain.
Trevorrow.
Trevorrow.
Trevorrow? What's his first name?
Cesaro.
No. The guy, he did... Yeah, Colin Trevorrow. Trevorrow. Don't you ever correct me on pronunciation. Ever.
Boom! Mike's ready.
Hold my purse.
Go get him, Mike.
Jurassic Park director who was supposed to do episode 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so they parted ways. We've talked many times, or it's pretty well documented about the Han Solo thing and why they
Which
parted
was
ways.
way into their shoot when they
Exactly.
parted ways. Now this one, I don't think they'd started anything much yet.
No, because we're still waiting on 8 to be in the theaters and everything. So there's still a lot of leading up to it. Although they're all in the same team.
So this is Star Wars 9 director.
Right.
Star Wars 7 director was somebody different. Star Wars 8
J.J.
director was
Abrams.
somebody different.
Right.
And Star Wars
Rian
9 was
Johnson.
going to be a third director.
Correct.
And now Star Wars 8's been fine. I don't think we've heard any dirty laundry about
No,
it.
it's all-
coming
it's
out.
all happiness.
The Jedi thing. But this one, I don't even think we have a title for it yet.
Oh no, that'll be quite a way.
So Star Wars 9, which should round out the whole Rey, Finn
should be the end of the saga. They've said it will be the end of this long story saga. Yeah, we'll still have Star Wars stories, but it'll be the end of this. There won't be a 10, 11, 12.
Ooh. Until
According to them, yeah, until there is. Anyway, so they part ways, and there's talk about Colin Trevorrow not liking the script, and maybe they had some
Good reason not to do a movie.
Very, I'm glad they parted ways now. Whether he's a great, I care if it was Spielberg or Ron Howard. If there isn't a gel, if there isn't everybody's happy on board, then it needs to break up. Here's the thing: Kathleen Kennedy runs the show.
Oh, yeah.
She runs Star Wars. So
She wears big pants.
she does wear the big pants, and just like Kevin Feige, she's got the whole vision. She's got the whole thing, and she's tasked with taking care of that, with being the guardian of this lore. Sure. That's her thing. That's his thing. So
she's a little Yoda on Dagobah.
If what isn't happening, if whatever's happening isn't a part of that, fine, go away. That's fine. He could be great. He probably is great. I have no idea.
Jurassic World proved that he could make some money.
It was a good movie.
So he made some fat cash.
It was basically, you know, a reboot. You know, wasn't.
It's fine.
Oh, there's a T-Rex.
Yeah, you know what? But Chris Pratt has shown he is not instant money with the intergalactic thing.
Oh, I like that movie.
Was it good?
Yeah.
I didn't actually see it, but it didn't do.
It didn't
money
do
that
gangbusters. It was a love story.
With those two actors in it,
yeah.
They expected that to be
space love story.
You know, super crazy numbers, and it turned out to be money.
I don't know.
So it was more money than I make, but still.
Yeah. Hey, we got 3 minutes. Want to talk comics?
No, I'm good. I'm good too. I don't want to blow up anything you might have. So.
Oh, I don't.
Is that it?
No, that's it for Star Wars. I mean, it's.
You know what? Toys R Us.
What about it?
Possibly filing for bankruptcy.
Remember the days?
I do. Well, you know what? No, because I was never a big Toys R Us guy. What do we have here in Kokomo?
KB.
We had KB.
Which is also gone.
And that's been gone a long time. Yeah. But we had one of those.
Right,
and we had a toy warehouse for a hot minute. So.
This is a very quick story.
Okay.
40 seconds, put it on the clock. We don't have a Toys R Us here in town, okay? There's one in Indy. As a kid, as a young teen, geek nerd, I'd never been to a Toys R Us, period, okay? We go to KB or we go to Sears or Penny's or wherever else I had stuff here in town. So we're on a church bus. My dad is the teen leader at the time. Teen leader. And our bus breaks down on 465, right next to a Toys R Us, okay? He's gonna go, okay, I need to go call somebody. The bus is broken down and everything, and I wanna go with him. I'm 14, 15. And I want to go with him because there's a Toys R Us right there. It's like, oh, and I've never seen one, I've never been to one. I see the commercials, I see the giraffe, whatever. They got the stuff that I really want to see, and he wouldn't let me go with him, and I was really upset and really mad at my dad at that time. So Jack, if you're out there, and I don't want to call him Jack, but I think it applies here. I was really upset about that. And I really kind of showed my butt to everybody else on that because I kind of threw a fit like an 8-year-old on the bus.
So you were Mike.
It's not called for.
You know. So when you finally got to your first Toys R Us, was it everything you expected it to be?
Probably. Sure. It was another toy store by then. By then I understood toys and how they work and how you can get them anywhere and all that stuff. But at the time it was...
I mean, it's definitely the end of an era, if it even goes through for sure. But the truth is back then, and it hasn't been this way for a while, but you couldn't get kind of this toy mecca thing. But now, honestly, the Walmart shelves are filled with most of the best stuff. You go to Toys R Us, there's like an entire aisle of like diapers and baby crap now and just weird kind of things. And
they always have a huge Lego section, much bigger than say a Walmart. And they have, but they also carry clothes and strollers and anything for babies. You know, it's more of a kid's store than a toy store. And
the thing with that is like you've got a place like Kokomo Toys now. Right. That if there's a specialty toy that they're not going to get, you can come to a specialty store like this and get it. Yeah. Legos. You know what? I wasn't a Lego fan until I was in my 30s. Right. And now I know, the only time I'm going to a Walmart or a Toys R Us to get Lego is if something is already sold out at the Lego store, because I'm going to go to that specialty branch to look for that particular item. Right. And also Lego just took a big hit, so we might have to talk about that next time. But that is all we've got time for on this week's episode of GeekStorm. Don't forget KokomoCon, October 14th.
Coming up. Where can we get tickets for KokomoCon?
Well, you'll be able to get them at Comics Cubed here very shortly.
It's 2 doors that way.
It's just right down the street. So, on behalf of GeekStorm, I am Sean Hilton, and this is Michael Allen Harrison. We are hoping that you have a groovy week.